Hello and welcome to Rotherham Real Talk podcast, the local podcast that highlights the local stories of our people in our time and in our town. So today we've got Titans Community Foundation on, and we've got Lindsay and JB. Hello, guys.
Hello, how are
Hi
you?
there.
Great stuff. Are you enjoying this weather?
Yeah, it's lovely. Can't complain, can we?
Not too bad, is it? It's not, yeah, not too bad for Rotherham anyway. Um, So yeah, basically, do you want to give us an overview of what you guys do down at the community foundation, and a bit of a background of how it started and who's involved?
Okay. There's always been a community element with the rugby club, right the way back in, if you like, the modern day era from about the 1980s. One of the stipulations that when they became a professional rugby club was that the players actually went out into the community and did some work, at least a day a month. And that's where it's grown from. It became a formalised charity in about 2005, and particularly at the start was very much focused on young people who were having problems coping with education, if you like, in a more traditional way. And the gentleman who was in charge then, Brian Chappell, was one of the school inspectors for Rotherham. And he set up a programme here where young people who either been excluded from school or were having difficulties came down and worked with rugby players on their basic skills and had some fun as well. And I took over in 2018. And since then, there's been about 30 different players through the system, and they work across all the schools and the colleges in Rotherham and across South Yorkshire. It's not just rugby, it's getting kids fit, understanding what food is and what nutrition is and how to make healthy choices. And JB is the gentleman now who is running the new hub down here, which opened last week. And this is for a grant from the Department for Culture, Media and Sport called the Youth Investment Fund. And they gave us £500,000 just over to build a building here that will be open as a youth club and during the day for other activities. But we're in the process of planning all of that at the moment.
Brilliant. Well, that leads us nicely into the new hub, and congratulations on that. JB, do you want to go into a bit more detail of the bigger plan of what the facility is going to be used for, and what sort of activities and how people can get involved?
Yeah, I think, over the past couple of years and how amazing, when the boys did start it off a few, years ago and where it's come to now, with the help of Lindsay and the other trustees that got together and got this over the line for us to help the community to, the big difference we make with these youngsters at schools, and we make that difference with them. And I just think this is like a finished product where we can actually push it and get a lot of the community involved to make it a better place, a safer space, and give the kids an opportunity what they want to do. So the planning in the next couple of months now is basically we're going to come up with a small plan of what we want to see, and then listen to the kids' voices really of what they want to see at the youth club, and how they want to. It's in their hands as well. It's yes, as much as ours, but it's also the youngsters around Rotherham to see where they really want to push it and what they want out from it. So the sort of courses and stuff we'll be looking at. Cookie, one of the rugby players here, has got his own Cookie's Health and Wellbeing app. So it's all about cooking, eating healthy, being active, which has been really good so far. So that's going to be one main cause of it. Mental wellbeing awareness, managing behaviour, skills for work development, catering, hospitality, health and fitness, sports programs, employability skills for the older lot, and career guidance. We see quite a bit of youngsters who are sort of falling out of school at a certain age, where we want to try and provide that help and resource that so they can go back into full-time education and believe that they can do it.
Yeah, well, it's nice to have that second because like you say, if kids are struggling a little bit or in through mainstream school and the fall out of the system for whatever reason, it's nice that you guys have got that little bit of a backup, and it sounds like you've got everything covered there from well, learning about the mental health and their nutrition and everything, all building up towards hopefully getting back into mainstream school and obviously getting on the right path for their career choices. So that sounds brilliant for what you guys are doing down there. What sort of other things do you have going on down there that's on a regular basis? Do you get is it where you get a handful of kids all into one space at one time, or is it more one to one on what they need at that specific time, or is it a lot of group activities?
Yeah.
Well, it's at the moment we've been waiting to get all the licenses and the paperwork sorted. So all we've been doing really is talking to children about what they want. Right. They want somewhere to go. They want to play table football. They want an Xbox and all of this lot. So we're starting to buy in some of these things. The traditional sort of youth club. We've been talking to some of the guys who are in the ratings about what can we do to provide musical facilities for kids, because so many of them are keen to make music. Yeah. We don't know quite what it's going to look like, but we hope to run a few evenings, for example, a movie night, a sports night, over the next few months and see what works. In the end, it's got to be what they want rather than we going, this is what we're giving you.
Yeah, so you're getting all the feedback from the kids and putting in place what they actually want from the club.
Yeah, and also from a day point of view as well, like an alternative provision where we can help kids that have fallen off the radar a little bit with confidence and learning difficulties that we can help with. We've had a recent success story at the moment still going on, who didn't attend school for a year or two, and now he's back in 3 days a week doing really, really well. So it's that sort of commitment now to the youngsters and giving them what they need.
As well as that, there are groups like Disability Sport Yorkshire that we're working with at the moment. These are young people who haven't really had much access to careers and volunteering or possible jobs, and we're working with them every week to see if we can upskill them. And they will be hosting a coffee morning and cake sale later on next month, and they will be running it, organising it. So I hope that's one that we can publicise through you and people can come and meet some of them.
Oh, great. Yeah, definitely send me the information. I'll stick that in the show notes at the end and share that out as well. So when did you start doing this, Lindsay? Sorry, was it 2000?
I took this on in 2018, but I've been involved with rugby since I was a 15-year-old 6-foot girl looking for somebody who might be more my size to go out with.
Right.
And where do you find tall gentlemen? You find them in rugby.
On the rugby pitch.
Yeah, I may not have known much about the game.
That's not me, Mike. I'm only 5'9".
No, the game itself I got to love because of the fact I was around rugby clubs from an early age. And all I wish is that there'd been women's rugby when I was growing up, though my husband's convinced I would have been permanently damaged. I tend to play most sports sort of head first and think about the consequences later.
Right, got you.
Yeah. But we do. We run rugby across all the ages. We run it for people who, shall we say, are perhaps not as young. We do walking rugby, and there's a walking cricket group down here as well. We just want as many people involved in this community around sport as possible. That's the plan.
Perfect. And so since 2018 then, what sort of challenges have you faced, and how have you slowly started to overcome those?
The main one is always money. We don't get any sort of grant from the RFU or the government. So most years I've got to find about £100,000 to keep the show on the road so that we can either do all this for free or for a minimal cost. We try not to make it that it's people are put off, for example, if they think it's going to cost them a lot of money. We try and make it that anybody can access it for free as much as possible. I'm getting better at writing bids and finding pots of money, but it is a challenge, and we've had some very generous sponsors, and particularly this youth investment fund that came in. By the time they're all the on costs, that was nearly £250,000 that's come into Rotherham.
Wow.
And that come from the back of the impact of all the years that they've been doing this. They regularly do 2,000 to 3,000 hours worth of work in the community every year, and that has an impact. People want us back, so it's been good to actually get a building that they can have as a home.
Yeah, no, perfect. And so you touched there on sponsorships there. Is there any major sponsorships that you do get from local businesses, and is there like other ways that other people might be able to get involved if they want to, and what does that look like for them?
One of our big supporters has been the gentleman who owns most of the McDonald's, Franco Ventura, and I know people will go, McDonald's isn't healthy and we're promoting healthy food. Well, he shares with us every spec, all the details of what's in each product. And when you look at them on the traffic light system, the vast majority are either green or yellow. There is the milkshakes, always the milkshakes, which are not healthy. But if you go around the schools that we work with and ask them about how much sugar is in a McDonald's milkshake, they can tell you. And it has an impact. All the kids understand McDonald's. And if they can learn what's a healthy choice or a better choice, it does influence them. So Franco has been absolutely brilliant. We've also had sponsorship from local taxi group, Visu. We've had Everlast Gyms this year, have been sponsoring us. We will happily work with anybody and see what we can do to promote them as much as they support us.
Do you want to add on and into that, JB?
No, we're just very thankful. I think this is what keeps it growing, and to have the input of Franco has helped us massively. And also going around the schools that we do to promote that has made a big difference and life-changing decisions on what they eat going forward, especially with our half projects. Kids are starting, you do see the difference from last year to this year, that kids are making better choices. So it's a massive improvement, and it's really good to see.
Yeah, I suppose it's all about that education piece, really. So they understand what they are putting in the bodies. And it's their choice then if they choose to eat the junk food, or they can make that choice for themselves to maybe swap that out for something a little bit better for themselves. But I suppose it's the same as anything, isn't it? It's how much you do it. If you overeating a lot of junk food, you are obviously it's not good for you. But in moderation, now and then, you can. We all like a McDonald's now and then.
We do, and if you look at the products, there are a lot of things in there that are very healthy. You just have to make the right choices and know that what you are choosing, if you do it too often, might not be the best thing. But the children do understand that. And the other project that JB mentioned, the healthy activities and food, that's with Rotherham Council. And that is to provide food and activities in all the holidays, particularly for children on low incomes. And our groups are always oversubscribed. We're running, I think, 6 weeks worth in total this summer. So we're doubling up at 2 venues. So there'll be a lot of children who will be getting a good hot meal and lots of fun things to do. Starting, I think, first week in August, we're starting.
Yeah, during the school holidays.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Right, perfect. And so I'm guessing that the new hub is one of the biggest achievements that you've had to date.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you'd want to add on to the hub and where you've come from? Obviously, from when you started in 2018, is there anything else additional to the hub that you're particularly proud of, and how far you've come?
I think the main thing is the recognition that the impact that this procession of rugby players has had. There was a head teacher who said to me, she remembers one of our players, I think he was around in the 1990s, And she remembers him going into school and working with children and trying to encourage them to read, because great big guys sitting down on little chairs reading books are quite inspirational. And she said, I don't think they realise what role models they are and the impact they have, because obviously they stay with us for a few years and then go on somewhere else. But she said, I saw the impact that a 6-week programme had, and she said, I wanted to get you back in because I want the children from this next generation to have the same thing. And they are role models. They are heroes to these kids. They see them on a Saturday, and cuddly Mr. Foster, who comes in their school on a Monday afternoon, it's not quite the same as the scary prop on the pitch on a Saturday. Yeah. They do see two sides to them. Yeah.
Brilliant. And then, so do you often get the players to go out into different areas of Rotherham then, and just is it a mixture of primary schools and secondary schools?
Yeah, we've done probably about 2/3 of the primary schools in Rotherham. We're within all the secondary schools. Colleges, we've been as far up as Barnsley this year, and we do some on the outskirts of Sheffield as well. This year, they've absolutely blown the numbers. I think we've probably worked with about 4,000 to 5,000 children since last July.
Wow.
Yeah.
Massive numbers there then. So it proves it's working though, and what you guys are doing down there. It's obviously people and the education sector has actually appreciates it, and obviously see the benefit of what you guys are doing down there.
I think the main one for me over the years is I'm still in touch with most of these players. They all leave here with a qualification of some sort. JB here is now a qualified youth worker. I've got a teaching assistant who will be qualified in the next few weeks. 2 or 3 referees, probably not as popular. And over the years, the references I write have got people in the same sort of job, say with other rugby clubs or with schools or whatever. If the players aren't getting something out of it as well, then I'm not doing my job properly.
Yeah. Perfect. And then, so what's the future plans and what you want the hub to become?
Yeah, a safe space for the community. I think a place where everyone feels welcome and everyone has their input of how we can push on further and make this community a very happy and safe environment to be. That's the ambition, isn't it? And give kids and give youngsters an opportunity to do what they want. You know, I think there's quite a few kids, or a percentage of kids, that don't believe in themselves and don't have that high hopes. But coming here, we can hopefully provide that and feel like they can push on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's nice for the kids to have somewhere to switch off from the online world, let's say, because a lot of kids are either stuck in front of a screen most of the time, and they do definitely lack that social connection with other kids their age. So yeah, what you guys are doing down there it'll have a massive impact on their development throughout into adulthood. Go on, sorry.
I think the other thing is it is such a beautiful space. When everybody walks through the doors, they go, wow. There isn't much for young people in Rotherham that has made them go, wow, for a long time. And I just want more and more kids and their families to experience that. I don't just want it to be something small. I want us to be inundated with children and their families thinking this is a good place to go, and what they get out of it is really positive.
Yeah.
Also, all under 18s, we all have a season ticket for them as well, so they all come free to home games. So,
oh wow.
And it's always an exciting thing next year as well. You know, everything's going forward, so it's a good place to be.
Good stuff. So I think that leads on nicely to towards the end. What sort of how can people get involved, and who is the main person there? Is it just you two, or how big is the team behind you guys? For people to get in touch to work out how they can get involved really, and where they can get in touch with you.
Yeah, no, we've got a great team of 6 looking to push on even further next year as well by September. So It's always expanding. If you keep an eye on our Instagram page, Titans Community Foundation, there will all be the information there to what's coming up next, what's on next, inquiries. But that's what's next, isn't it? Yeah. So keep an eye open.
The website is titanscommunityfoundation.org, and that again will have all sorts of information, meet the players, see who they all are and what we do. Just drop us a line. There's a contact form on there. We will come back to you and see what we can sort out.
Perfect. I'll grab all that off you at the end, and we'll stick all that into the show notes, and we'll be sharing this out onto social media anyway. So everyone will be able to get that opportunity to be able to reach out to you to see what else is going on down there. Before we finish, is there anything that I should have asked you that I haven't asked you, or is there anything else that you guys want to share with me that we might not have already covered?
I think everything's covered. Just if you watch this, if you hear about this, come along. Please drop us a line of what you guys want to see in Rotherham as well, because it only helps us moving forward. So any inquiries that way will help us, help the community, and it'll push to go forward.
I think the only other thing is that it'll change its function on a match day, because when we get to match day and these guys are on the pitch, this building is going to be in use for a sort of sports bar, private bar for local businesses or groups of people who want to get involved. So it'll be a really nice, relaxing space, out of the wind and the rain, but you can pop out onto the pitch to see how they're doing at the, during the match.
Perfect. It sounds fun. Right, thank you very much, guys, for sharing all that. And if anybody does want to get involved, I'll stick all the stuff in the show notes, and I'm sure you guys will continue to do what you are doing and supporting all the youths in and around the area. Keep up the great work. It sounds fantastic, and I will definitely be coming down to hopefully meet you both in person as well, rather than over a screen. So thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next one.
Awesome. Thank you.